We conducted an experiment and invited people from different age groups to play an online game together. Though everyone started excitedly, the game made them curious, happy, restless, and some were even left worried. Just like them, there are other 303 million mobile gamers in India. The Indian gaming industry is worth $1.8 billion. The government realized that the gaming industry is spreading like a wildfire and it needs to be regulated. From the involvement of the Parliament to Niti Aayog to Inter-Ministerial Task Force, gaming industry in its little time of inception has seen it all. Until now.
India has proposed a body for online gaming industry now.
Online gaming, casino, ये सारे जो businesses हैं, उन पर कल GST काउंसिल की बैठक भी हुई है.
देश में ऑनलाइन गेमिंग को रेगुलेट करने की शुरुआत हो चुकी है.
The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology is now formally in charge of making rules related to online gaming, while the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports oversees esports. Let's start afresh and understand the basics. One can either play a game of skill or a game of chance. A game of skill is based mainly on the mental or physical level of expertise of a player. For example, deciding on your next move in chess or carom. On the other hand, a game of chance is where a player wins by betting against random numbers. It's the same way you do in roulette and lotteries. Under esports, players compete on their own skills with live audiences. Just like a physical sports event, imagine it as a virtual version of physical sports, for example, PUBG or FIFA 2022 or League of Legends. MeitY has released a draft of the regulations. It's easy for anyone to spiral into thinking, is it enough to protect the consumers, and what is the extent with which it can hurt the industry?
The gaming industry faces an existential crisis with promoting itself as an alternative to gambling, simply because it draws its legitimacy from what it is not. It's not gambling.
Rightly said, this industry needed legitimacy. After all, the games have evolved from a console and a remote to a computer and a keyboard, and now nothing but just a mobile in your hand. Playing games have never been so easy, and that's why we are staring at a technological hazard of addiction. And this is pretty serious, as the addiction of gaming has led the youngsters to steal, revolt, or even kill in their families. Looking at the numbers, about 3.5% of Indian adolescents suffer from internet gaming disorder. It's a matter of concern as the rate is 0.5% higher than the global average. When children under the age of 20 were surveyed, over 65% were ready to give up on food and sleep to play online games.
Safety concerns are being addressed through the rules. A self-regulatory body is a welcome step. It will bring in certain mechanisms to protect the users.
Even beyond the shackles of being addicted, the problems with the gaming world deepens as it is a potential playground for cyberbullying. Gamers invest a lot of time to reach a certain level, and digital fraudsters often take advantage of this victorious situation and hack their accounts. Oftentimes, a ransom is demanded in exchange for the account. As a matter of fact, the gaming industry was subjected to 12 billion cyber attacks between November 2017 and March 2019. Another disturbing repercussion involved data breaches. The same mobile which is used to play games also stores more serious and confidential information, including banking details, official documents, personal images, etc. It's concerning that 3 out of every 4 gamers in India have been victims of a cyber attack at some point in their life.
If you want me to summarize what these rules are, correct, what they imply that the government has said that user protection and player protection is first, paramount. Companies and the gaming platforms can innovate, correct? So you can innovate, but make sure that users are protected through and through.
And it is somewhat obvious that a clearer framework will lead to more innovation, more jobs, more investments, and a more conducive tax regime. But it is still unknown who's going to be responsible for the content that can or cannot be shown on platforms for such massive reception. On top of that, a bigger challenge remains as the central framework is at loggerheads with state-wise regulatory fragmentation. Plus, what is the composition of these self-regulatory bodies? Overall, it's too premature to say whether the regulation will or will not work and what the future of gaming industry still holds.